Oh, it's been a crazy, crazy day. I'm still having fun. I hope you are all having fun out there too. This is going to be a very serious video. It's part of some other kinds of projects I'm brainstorming and thinking about. These are questions for the women in the community, or rather for any women out there, but especially for Gynarchist women, which I'm going to be mainly directing these questions to them, and I'll explain why in a moment. I did an extensive amount of research in the past few days into women's health issues that need more research funding. I've come up with a list of names here. And the reason why I am asking about this, because I have a bunch of them that I'm going to be listing off, and the reason why I'm asking is because I only make about about $150 to $200 every 2 months because I don't have a job. I collect cans and bottles, but so in other words, I'm very limited in my funding, and yet despite that, I would like to ask some questions. But first, I want to read off what I found out. I found out that these were the issues that had needed need more funding. We have rheumatoid arthritis. When I read into this, I found out that it only gets $6 million a year for funding, which is just atrocious. I think we can all definitely do something about that. There is lupus. There is multiple sclerosis. There is Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. These are thyroid diseases. You have psoriasis. You have type 1 diabetes. Many of the ones that I just listed, from rheumatoid to type 1, are considered autoimmune disorders, and for one reason or another, autoimmune disorders affect up to 80%. The 80% of the individuals who suffer from autoimmune diseases are women. 80%. That means if you were to go up to 5 people with autoimmune disorders, 4 out of 5 of them are going to be women. That's a pretty shocking statistic. Then we have different heart diseases and strokes. The American Heart Association in particular has done this. There's a few different ones that I can maybe talk about later. I've already kind of mapped out. I've already looked into all of them, so I know which ones to donate to. Anyways, getting back to this, that's why I didn't say one, because when I looked up coronary artery disease and then cardiovascular disease, it just kept taking me back to the American Heart Association. I couldn't find anything specifically for that type of disease. The next one is Alzheimer's disease. I also learned through my research that the vast majority of the people suffering from Alzheimer's are women. There you go. And then there's something called Preeclampsia. There is Polycystic ovary syndrome. There is Fibroids, Endometriosis, Osteoporosis, and Metastatic breast cancer. These are all, when I did my research into funding health issues that needed more funding, these got brought up. Now, the reason why I read all these off is I wanted to ask a few questions, but I did also want to explain more why. I tried to call people at these organizations to try to ask them their opinion on which health issues they thought needed the funding most urgently versus the ones that needed it least urgently. And I couldn't get anybody on the phone. I kept going to their voicemails, and it was just driving me up a goddamn wall. So I want people to know I really did try to talk to some professionals about this who worked at these health organizations, and I just kept getting, go to voicemail, go to voicemail. I have no idea when these individuals are going to get back to me. I have left messages, but I thought, since I'm already engaging in this activity, I might as well invite other people into it too. And I think that this is good for the gynarchy community in general, because if we want to move away from whatever kind of image issues we feel are the problem for our community, then this is the kind of way. This is the way we can do it. But I definitely am struggling because I don't have as much knowledge and information about this as I would like. And some of these health issues are completely foreign to me. I have a mother who does suffer from certain problems, but I don't really think any of them are on this list. The only one I know about is endometriosis, that I believe my mother suffered from when she was younger. Aside from that, I'm not really aware of many of these other problems. Um, and what I wanted to ask the women in the community, particularly the Gynarchist women, is if you had, and I'll type these out in the video when I'm finished. If you took a look at this list, and if you could decide to, or if you like could order them from most important to least important, which ones would they be? For instance, would you want multiple sclerosis to be at the top of the list, or would you want it to be at the bottom? In other words, what I'm really asking is, um, as a man, which issue should I donate to first, and which issues are more urgent? Which issues need my money more than other issues? In other words, what issues can wait, and what ones need it? What particular health problems need to be donated to right now? In other words, which health issues need immediate funding right this second? Which ones can wait? For instance, can rheumatoid arthritis wait? Can lupus wait? In other words, I mean, obviously, heart disease is something that, I mean, if your heart gets damaged, as far as I know, your heart isn't going to just magically heal completely. I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't know. But I just want you to give this list. Here it is right here if you need to take some time to look at it. This is the front. And here is the back. And I did want to kind of know what you felt were the most important health issues that women have that need more research funding, and which ones can kind of be put on the back burner for a little while. And why I ask this is because I in my mind, I think they're all terrible. I wish we could all solve them tomorrow, but I'm not made of money, and other people in the community are not made of money. So it just becomes a question of which ones need to be prioritized, which health issues which ones need to be prioritized first, and which ones can kind of be less prioritized but still matter. Also, is there any health issue on this list that belongs on here, that needs to be here or needs more addressing? For instance, is there an autoimmune disorder that maybe didn't make it onto this list that needed to be here? Or is there another health issue that you feel needs to be funded? Please feel free to take some time with this. But I think it matters, especially for men, because I've always got the feeling, and I'll be the first to admit, I need to learn more about certain topics, and I definitely wish I were more read up on this than unfortunately I am. And I have the sneaking suspicion that there are lots of other men in the community that know little to nothing about these health issues. And maybe this would be a good opportunity to educate the men in particular on how they can help women's health, how they can make a difference, so to speak, in their lives. I would also like to know, in your personal opinion, among all of these listed diseases, which ones do you consider the worst? And what I mean by that is, here's the criteria I'm considering. I mean, how you feel personally. Do you personally, based on it, like, what do you think is the worst among these that a woman can go through? And also, among these diseases, what do you think is the worst one that is affecting the majority of women? In other words, which diseases are the most debilitating for women as a group, and also which ones are the most debilitating for people as individuals? Because I don't want to just reduce this to just the numbers game or the group game. I want to hear, I would love to hear and appreciate to hear your thoughts and feelings on both sides. In other words, what is individually the worst disease? In other words, the person, like how devastating is it, versus what is the worst thing for women, for health issues as a group. And part of why I bring this up is because since Gynarchy is revolving around women and their perspectives, their issues, that there's obviously things that are impeding many women in the population from acquiring their dreams, from being self-sufficient, from having that. In other words, these health issues provide can provide a lot of barriers and challenges that women face in day-to-day life. And as we all know, unfortunately, women can be preyed upon. They can be lulled into a false sense of security and then abandoned by men in their personal life. There have been many tragic stories about this. It's I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard at least one or two of these. So I think I mean, my personal thing is I don't lean too hard on either utilitarianism or the lack of utilitarianism. I lead more on I like a little bit of both when it comes to my what informs my decision making. I want to hear the not just the logical arguments, but also the emotional ones. In other words, what is individually devastating, but also if we dealt with like what diseases would in if we dealt with them and got the like what diseases are actually getting in the way of women as a group functioning better, being healthier, having higher quality of life. Which one is which disease is affecting them most as a group and fucking with them the most as a group. Uh, Anyways, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope all of you have a great day. Please take care out there, and I look forward to donating as much money as I can uh, towards some of these women's health issues that need more research funding. Um, I would also actually one last question. I apologize. Uh, are there any kinds of research organizations that you prefer people donate to over others? In other words, have you ever had any problems or any particular issues with certain uh, research organizations or health organizations? Any personal problems, and uh, would you prefer that people donate to ones that you feel represent your values and beliefs over others? Uh, Sorry I missed that question. I didn't write that down. Thank you for your time. Once again, please take care, everybody, and peace out.